Hey guys, Eka here from Bike Riding Tales, and we are actually going to be flying off to Japan tomorrow. So, to fly and obviously bring our bikes. This time around, I've got the post-carry transfer case, which is this beautiful case over here. It's 135 liter volume. By right, fits about 58 cm road bikes, gravel bikes. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking my Fez Rando Tour. I believe you guys have probably seen Cappuccino already by now. Cappuccino is going to be packaged in here with racks, fenders, everything, and I'm going to throw in some panniers in there. So let's see if it's up to the task, which I'm pretty sure it will, because that entire setup does fit in the standard Ritchie Breakaway suitcase. I opted to get this one because it gives you a little bit more room, but it's still compact. It's very robust, a little bit lighter. And there's some nice little pockets inside, and you've got handles everywhere as well. So in terms of ergonomics, I really love the design of this bag. So let's get to it. Alright, let's begin. So starting with the top flap, it's actually a nice little sleeve over here, and it also incidentally protects the zip. Let's open that up. Clamshell opening. It's kind of cool. So this is an integrated wheel bag, and you've got the other integrated wheel bag on the inside, so it's basically a wheel sandwich. And then you've got the tube protectors over here, and then I've got some extra padding, and these are also additional tube protectors, frame protectors from the Ritchie suitcase and the chainstay guard. So all the protection that you have for the frame in there, and then there's a couple of spots where there's zippered pockets where you can put in your tools and other random goodies. You can see that the protective layer here is quite thick. So in terms of protection, I feel pretty confident that things are going to be pretty solid, but it retains its shape. So let's go ahead and start disassembling the bike, and we'll start putting parts in here. Okay, so it's standard operating procedure of how to take apart the bike. So this is Cappuccino, which is a Fez Ritchie Breakaway Custom, and what makes it cool is the front and the rear actually separate. So how does it do that? So at the top tube and the seat tube over here, this is a junction. You've got the Ritchie collar over there, so when the seat post comes out, that separates. And then you have a coupler at the bottom over there at the down tube, so when that opens up, the front and the rear make it separate ways. And then we're gonna take apart the handlebar, which also frees up the fork, so that gets separated into different components that get packed into the suitcase. Obviously you got to take off the wheels, the fenders, and the racks that are in the front over there. And because I've got dynamo lights, what's cool here is inside the down tube, so once the frame gets separated, I actually have a little dynamo cable there that I just disconnect, so the front and the rear are truly separate at that point. And then obviously, you know, the frame pump, the little things like pedals, the cages. So once you separate all of that, you basically have parts that are a lot more manageable when they go into a suitcase. And that's pretty much it. So let's get to it. we've got the whole entire bike disassembled down to just the frame, we are going to be taking apart the breakaway frame now. So the first things is the cable splitter, so we're going to undo these, and then we are going to take off the seat post, undo that coupler, and then we are going to remove the fork. So that will get us much closer into getting everything into a packable size, so we can at least start wrapping the frame with the frame protectors. Alright, so obviously before packing the wheels you got to take off the rotors, because the instructions actually tell you to do that. Alright, now that the fork is off, we can start taking apart the frame. So the first thing is to remove, or at least loosen, these two bolts, and then we're going to take off the seat post, which will separate this top part. Alright. Little bit of work, just slowly work through it. There we go, not too bad. Alright, the next part is the coupler at the bottom here. So we're going to undo this one. Very carefully now. And just like that, the two halves separate. And this is my dynamo cable. That's it. Pop that off and we are good. Alright, it's officially time to start packing. So we're going to start with the rear wheel, and then we're going to put in the frame, and then we're going to put in the front wheel. So I've already got the rear wheel in here, and you can see that it is packed with the fenders already, and make sure that the cassette is facing upwards. The frames have been wrapped up in their protective sleeves, and it's actually a combination from post carry case as well as the Ritchie frame protectors. Alright, first I'm nestling the rear triangle in there, and then this rear derailleur is actually going to go in that pocket. So let me just position it as such. Tuck it in, bring it in closer. Zip up that little pocket so it stays put, and bring this back. There we go. Perfect fit. Alright, so now that we've got the rear triangle fitted, here's the front, and because it's a breakaway, it can fit even better. So I actually discovered that works. And then I have the fork and the handlebar, so I've padded the stair, put in a little bit of protective layer, and that can just go in. There we go. And making sure that the fork legs and the crank, it's in between, so nothing is touching and everything has been protected quite nicely. And I can pretty much put the handlebars anywhere I want. Yeah, that's actually okay. So now I just need to put in the racks and the panniers, and you can see there's a lot of space everywhere, and the front wheel will go in there. So we've done packing. Everything is inside the post-carry case, and we actually have 2 of them. Ready to fly to Japan now. So we have arrived in Kanazawa at last. It's about half an hour to midnight, so we're all pretty knackered. But yeah, they're famous for the beautiful torii gates here. This is what the main entrance of Kanazawa at the train station is. So iconic structure. We're heading to our Airbnb next, and I need sleep. So thanks for tuning into this episode. Stay tuned for our Japan content coming